Go into any Sumerian exhibit and see what I'm about to tell you. Drawings of rockets that look like Apollo launching into the sky. Etchings and sculptures of men in spacesuits and what looked like oxygen masks. Now, this artwork was created in the 4th millennium BCE, 4,000 years before Christ walked the earth. Genesis, Noah's Ark, to name a few. Both of these stories existed in Sumer 6,000 years before the Bible was written. Genesis came from the Sumerian epic of creation. Noah's Ark came from the Sumerian deluge. The alien god legend has its basis, its origins in Sumerian history. You can find everything I've described in the museum right now.
The
Dogon dwell in the central plateau region of Banyagara. Their knowledge is centuries old, and their priests have been sharing it with chosen individuals only. In the 1920s, French anthropologist Griel and ethnologist Dieterlen visited the tribe and were invited to share their secrets.
But one secret stood out. The Dogon claimed that their god Amma came from a specific star in the Sirius constellation, the same place where the ancient Egyptians believed their god Osiris was born. This star, which modern astronomers refer to as Sirius B, the Dogon called Potolo. But what baffles experts is that the star is so far from Earth, it's impossible to see with the naked eye.
Inside whistleblowers from India, from China, from the U.S., saying that one of the main levels of this 2012 prophecy is that somewhere around that time, and it could be earlier, it could be next year, it might even be this year, who knows, but at some point there is this official tipping point where the ETs, who seem to have withdrawn since the times of the Old Testament for the most part, now come back, because in the Old Testament they were called Elohim, or angels, you know, but they come back, and when they come back, there is some sort of energetic download that everybody gets, regardless of how much asleep you might be. And it's as if there is a genetic trigger that goes off in your body where now you're able to remember things that you didn't know before.
The geneticist is the new Gnostic. The Elohim of the Bible were geneticists. Genesis, Genesis, Genesis 1, that's chapter 1, verse 26 says, let us make man in our image after our likeness. We don't know what the fuck they look like. Do they? Do you know what the Elohim look like? No. You don't.
The perfect female and the perfect male, for whatever that is and whatever that means, the human strain, the original perfect human was asexual. It didn't need to procreate because it was one entity without sex. It was a living vibration that had consciousness, didn't need features for senses to express itself because it impressed its experience, you see. So it was an entity that they said that if we were to see what our ancestors truly looked like, if one of them, human ancestors, were to step to us today, we'd all faint. would probably die of a heart attack because we don't look nothing like them. The way we look is when we look on the walls and we see what the true genetics of humanity look like, we look at the ancient Kemites, we will see that their eyes were always made super big. And we wondering, well, why are they making their eyes super big? Was that some kind of, artistic expression? No, it wasn't. That's the way we were. The way they're depicting the aliens now with the grays and stuff. If you look at the gods, as they called them, the gods had eyes that had no whites damn near in them. Almost like they call them the doe-eyed gods. If you look at a deer, there's no white parts in a deer. The eye of the higher animals, there's all black. And that's how our ancestors looked. We didn't have scleras. The shrinking of this part here that became the pupil is the effort of the brain to try not to sift in all the dangerous rays of the sun. So it shrunk out the black, because black absorbs. So it shrunk it in order to protect the brain from the high radiation light frequencies. So we don't look nothing like our ancestors from back in the days.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that Yakub was a scientist who saw in the genetic makeup of the black man that he could bring out of us a new people, the opposite of the original. That is not evil. That is high science.
On the sixth day, God created man. On the seventh day, he rested. And on the eighth day, in the year 2010, in a remote laboratory, an exiled scientist created something impossible. Unmistakably human. Undeniably animal. On the island of Dr. Moreau.
I'd like to present my children.
Father?
Oh my God.
From director John Frankenheimer. H.G. Wells' most terrifying creations. About the line that separates man from beast.
What's going on?
And the notorious doctor who dared to cross it.
We are men because the Father has made us men.
Marlon Brando. Val Kilmer. David Thewlis. The island of Dr. Moreau.
The object of Yakub was to make a people unalike that would be attractive because of the law of unalike attract and like repel. And Yakub would teach a new people, a new way of civilization that was in opposition to the natural order of the universe and the nature of God in his creation of life. A new people, a new race.
look for nobody to rescue you but yourself. We are the gods. You see, so ain't no bughead. I wish the bughead motherfucker would come up to me. I'm here now. After all this hell I caught. I said, now you're going to have to take this ass with him, because you too goddamn late. Damn that shit. You fucking 40 years too late, or 100 years too damn late. You see? And take me where? You see what I'm saying? The kingdom is supposed to be on earth. The 3 stars in Orion belt, they show you 3 pyramids at the Giza Plateau to tell you that the heaven is down here. And you the gods running it.
Adam and Eve, and the men who brought them together were called the Elohim. That's why they translate in your Bible God. If you look into the Hebrew, it says in the beginning Elohim did this, Elohim did this, and then when they get to Genesis chapter 2, in the first 4 verses, it moves from Elohim into Yahweh Elohim, and then when it gets into Genesis chapter 3, it gets down into who Satan is and his temptation of this man and this woman. But this man and woman were just walking on the earth where the spirit of the Most High, called Elohim, was already here. We were called the spirit because we were called Ruh, and Ruh is soul, and that's Ra, the sun, the light, and the light, the second light inside of us, the light that shineth that we don't understand. We are the gods. We have been taught to worship people when everybody on the planet is worshiping us. You understand? We are the people that they're worshiping. All this ancient Mesopotamian, Babylonian, and ancient Egyptian history are all facts, but it's all pre-history, meaning pre-Torah. The Torah was written strictly for us to log in our genealogy when the 2 children were created, Adam and Eve. Prior to that, we were gods, so we never worshiped.